Hey everyone, this is a video highlighting the reflections, the top 5 lessons that I learned in 2024. I'm recording this video in the island of Nusa Penida, Bali, Indonesia on January 4th, 2025. And last year's video was one where I was filled with a lot of anxiety, discontentment, and lack of satisfaction of where I was at, especially turning 25. But now, a year later, where I thought I was supposedly living my dream life of being in Los Angeles, there was a lot of clarity that opened up. And the biggest question that is going to be proposed that I've been asking myself and the people around me lately is, when was the last time you felt alive? And these are the last reflections in 2024 that posed of the same mentality of what I'm going to bring in. So lesson number 1 is say yes to the moment. Oftentimes, we're told to guard our time. We're told to always say no, to have our guard up. But while there's a time and place to make sure that you're placing boundaries, it's in the moment where we say yes to a new adventure, whether it's something exciting like going on motorbikes and weaving through the streets of the jungle, or saying yes to going on a coffee chat with a new connection that you met, whether it's personal or professional. You have an opportunity to be able to open and expand not only your mind, but most importantly, your heart. So the lesson that you should go into 2025, and the one I'm going to continue that I took from last year, is to continue saying yes. Lesson number 2, as it goes into the question of what it means to be alive, is hone your craft. So when I was working with one of my teammates, shout out Grant Bayer and Grant Allen Bayer Media, GAB, the guy that edits my videos, content, and everything, as we were having a discussion, we always think about what the next step of where we're trying to be. How can we continue to make the content better? What's the direction that we want to go? What is the mission that we're trying to provide and the value that we're trying to give? But it's within the understanding that the commitment to what you want in your life comes by identifying the core pillar and showcasing the discipline of honing your craft. The greatest athletes, investors, entrepreneurs, creatives, and people who made dents in the world, such as Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, Phil Knight, Rosa Parks, they all had an understanding of honing their craft and the mission of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to provide. And so the thing is, you need to identify what the craft is, the thing that you want to work on, first and foremost, and then 2, actually having the discipline, the discernment, and the dedication to continue to pursue that with reckless abandon. Now, for me and for Grant and I, the craft has been honing the idea of creating curated content, whether it's long form such as the podcast of Iconic Conversations, the newsletter of producing value that tangible people can read, that are feeling evoke an emotion of inspiration, or 3, the short form content videos that we post on YouTube and TikTok. That's the craft of being able to continue to share a message and bring inspiration to the world. And we know that it's the early stages, but it's working. So number 2 of 20 of what it means to feel alive is hone your craft. Lesson number 3, it's get out of your comfort zone. I know it sounds cliche, it sounds easy, it sounds repeatable, but getting out of our comfort zone is absolutely necessary of having growth. And there was this quote that I read of the idea of the first way of being able to get out of our comfort zone is understanding the idea of presence. And that presence comes from going within. And oftentimes, the most uncomfortable places that we need to go into and rely on is our hearts and our minds. This quote says, there's an entire universe inside of us. And I started getting very curious about what it is and what I'm feeling, and realizing that I was learning how to sense vibrational frequency, energy, because it's all energy frequency and all information is available right here. We just don't know how to be with it because we're so busy in our minds. It's in that moment that when we are getting outside of our minds and we start to tap into our spirits, we then become uncomfortable to realize the universe that's inside of us, the vessel that God has created us to go within the depths of our soul and be able to express it. So the third lesson of 2024, heading into 2025, is get out of your comfort zone. Now, lesson number 4 that I learned from last year and what it means to be alive is celebrating the mundane moments we see on Instagram, on video, on TikTok, on social media, the highlights, the reels, the ideas, the excitement, and even in my own life as I've experienced on this trip to Asia, speeding down the highway of Tokyo, coming from Mount Fuji, dipping in the night, racing other cars, and trying to go to Shibuya to chase the next photo, or being in the moments of the bustling city of Bangkok and eating the street food and interacting with the locals and all this stuff. In actuality, the beauty lies in the mundane moments of standing at the subway line, observing all the different types of clothes and ideas and noises that we listen to, or whether it's being at the park, just watching the dog, or watching our cousin or our daughter or our son play, or just walking through the grocery store to buy some chicken for your next meal. That's when we understand and realize that the beauty of life comes from the mundane moments. That's when we have the opportunity to see what's really in front of us and be present. This quote encapsulated perfectly, where it says, "It turns out that bliss, a second-by-second joy and gratitude at the gift of being alive, conscious, lies on the other side of crushing boredom." And that boredom comes from the mundane moments. And the mundane moments brings the sense of beauty. And for lesson number 5, the last lesson of what it means to truly be alive that I learned from 2024 that I'm bringing to 2025 is accepting reality for what it is. Reality is not easy. It's tough. It's bitter. It's disgusting. But it's also fun, exciting, exhilarating. And it's a whole moment of just things that happen. The reason why most people in life, such as myself, also suffer is because we don't want to accept the present moment for what it is. And so now you realize that when we accept the present moment for what it is, we then have the opportunity to truly explore and become and go after what we want. I don't know about you, but when we stop resisting the expectation of what we think we want and accepting the reality that is accepted in front of us and realizing that we can change, we have the power to change it, that's when life becomes truly amazing. A friend sent me this quote picture after I sent him the article that I wrote in the Substack about the art of living. And this is what the video is going to be: the top 5 lessons of how to master the art of living in 2025. It says, "A master in the art of living draws no sharp distinction between his or her work and his or her play, labor and leisure, mind, body, education, and recreation. They hardly know which is which. They simply pursue their vision of excellence through whatever they are doing and leaves others to determine whether they are working or playing. To themselves, they always seem to be doing both." Lawrence Petzl Jacks. And when we accept reality, we then understand that the art of feeling alive, the art of living, the art of being comes with the territory of being able to curate your reality, curate your experiences, and accept reality as it is, to now realize that we can have an opportunity to play and contribute something in the world. So those are my lessons of 2024, of how I felt alive and what I'm bringing into 2025. I hope this inspires you, this moves you, this evokes some sort of opportunity for you to continue to go out into the world and make your dreams come true. Until next time, I'm out. Peace, light, and loving kindness.